Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something lots of you ask about. How do you actually start a YouTube channel? We're going deep on how to create a YouTube channel for beginners using a really solid guide as our source. It maps things out clearly, from just having an idea to hitting publish on video #1. So our mission basically is to give you a practical roadmap. Think of it like a smart shortcut to get your channel created, set up right, and launched effectively. We want to lay that groundwork for, real sustainable growth. Because YouTube today, it's huge, right? It's way more than just entertainment. It's massive for education, for marketing, for building communities. And here's the thing, you really don't need to be some kind of tech whiz or have fancy equipment to get started. Seriously, you can begin with what you likely already have. Okay, so where do we start? The guide is super clear on this. Step 1, absolutely essential, is having a Google account, a Gmail account. This isn't just like a login, it's your key to everything YouTube. Once you're signed in on youtube.com, you just click your profile picture, top right, and hit create a channel. Pretty straightforward so far, but here's where the guide flags a really big decision point. Something people often just gloss over. YouTube gives you a choice, a personal channel or a brand account. Now the personal one, it's tied directly to your Google name. Seems simple. But interestingly, our source strongly recommends going for a brand account, even if it's just you. Why is that? What's the thinking there?
That's a really good point to unpack. Because a brand account isn't just about the name. It's like creating a separate identity for your channel, distinct from your personal Google stuff. The real benefit, even if you're flying solo, is flexibility and, honestly, a bit of future-proofing. It separates your personal online footprint from your public channel. So, for one thing, you can pick a different channel name, which is great for branding. But the big thing is it lets you add other people, later managers, editors, whatever. If your channel grows or if you want to collaborate or even, maybe sell it down the line, having a brand account makes all of that way, way easier. It just gives you more options long term.
Ah, okay. So it's less about now and more about later. Future-proofing, like you said. Makes sense. All right, so once you've made that choice, the guide really gets into making your channel, look good and be easy to find. Personalization, aesthetics, that first impression matters, right? It talks about needing a channel name that's, relevant, unique, easy for people to remember, something that hints at your content. And then the profile photo needs to be clear, professional looking, a logo or a good headshot. And the channel banner, that big image at the top, the guide stresses this needs to be visually striking, give some info, but crucially, it has to look good on all devices, desktop, tablet, phone. What's the strategic importance there?
Well, yeah, zooming out, these things, name, photo, banner, they're like your channel's shop window. It's the very first thing people see. It instantly communicates what your channel's about,
Yeah.
the vibe. But more than just looking good, it signals professionalism, trustworthiness even. Before anyone even clicks play, these visuals help them decide, is this for me? It builds that brand identity right from the get-go. It's like a promise.
A promise. I like that. Okay, so visuals nailed down. Then the guy talks about the about section, the channel description. It says you need a clear, kind of concise summary. What's the channel about? What videos can people expect? Who's it for? And importantly, use relevant keywords here so people can find you in search. And don't forget links. Social media, website, whatever. Oh, and the source highlights this little detail. Put a contact email in the basic info section of YouTube Studio for business inquiries. That seems small, but potentially really important later.
Absolutely crucial for collaborations or sponsorships down the road. You want people to be able to reach you easily.
Right. Okay, now let's shift gears to strategy. Before you even think about filming, the guide really emphasizes planning. So why is planning so critical before hitting record? It talks about defining your niche, finding that specific area where you've got knowledge or passion or maybe some experience. It pushes you to ask, what problem am I solving? What am I teaching? Or maybe, what am I entertaining? Getting specific seems key. And then understanding your target audience. Who are you actually talking to? What are they interested in? What do they need? Knowing this helps you tailor your content so it actually lands. And finally, deciding on your content type. Are you doing tutorials, vlogs, reviews, interviews? You got to have some idea of the format.
And this brings us to consistency, which, the guide really hammers home. It's not just about keeping viewers happy, though that's part of it. The insight here is that YouTube's algorithm actually seems to prefer predictable upload schedules. The guide puts it really well. It's better to have one quality video a week than 3 irregular and low-quality ones. Being consistent signals reliability, you see, both to your audience, who learn when to expect stuff from you, and potentially to the platform itself, which might help your visibility. It builds viewer habits.
Reliability for the algorithm, too. Interesting. Okay, that's a strong case for discipline. So plans in place. Now the fun part, creating that first video, the guide gives some really practical advice on gear. Lots of people get hung up here, thinking they need fancy cameras, but the message is clear: start with your phone. Smartphone cameras now are honestly pretty amazing. But and this is a big, but the guide stresses good audio is crucial, like non-negotiable for keeping people watching. People will put up with slightly imperfect video, but bad audio. They'll click away fast. So the source strongly suggests getting even an inexpensive external microphone. It apparently makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. Night and day difference. If you invest in one thing early on, make it a basic mic.
Good tip. And for editing, again, you don't need to spend a fortune. The guide lists great free options. DaVinci Resolve for PC, CapCut works on mobile and PC. You can even use the basic editor inside YouTube Studio to start. So, okay, video is made. Now you upload it. And here come the optimization steps. Crafting a good title needs to be attractive, clear, and use keywords people might search for. Then the video description. Write a decent summary, include keywords again, maybe links, and definitely a call to action, like asking people to subscribe. But maybe the single most important visual, your custom thumbnail, that little preview image. The guide calls it the most important visual element. Needs to be high quality, eye-catching, make people curious, clear text, maybe your face. It has to grab attention in a sea of other videos. And finally, add relevant tags, more keywords, basically to help YouTube understand your video and tell YouTube if it's made for kids or not.
Yeah, and it's worth stressing these aren't just like technical chores you have to do. These steps are vital. They're how you make sure the right people find your video in the first place.
Yeah.
And they're what convinces someone to actually click play. That title, the thumbnail, the description, they're your video's sales pitch, essentially.
Right. Your sales pitch before they've even seen a second. Okay, video's live. Woohoo! But how do you get eyes on it? The guide talks about initial promotion. Share it everywhere. Your socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you use. WhatsApp groups maybe. Tell your friends, your family. It feels basic, but especially at the start, it helps get the ball rolling. Then, crucially, engage with anyone who comments. Respond, ask questions, build that little community right there on your video page. Interaction is key. And down the line, think about collaborating with other creators in your space. That's a great way to get in front of new audiences.
Which leads to the next question. How do you actually know if any of this is working, beyond just hoping? And the answer is YouTube Studio. That's your dashboard, your control center. It's packed with analytics data on views, watch time, who's watching, where they're coming from. You need to learn to read this data. It tells you what's resonating, which videos are doing well, maybe where people are dropping off in a video. You can use that info to figure out what to do more of and what to improve. And of course, listen to the comments. Your audience will often tell you exactly what they want to see or what they liked or didn't like. That feedback is gold. That feedback loop, yeah, super important. And this whole section in the guide finishes with a reminder. Patience and consistency. Say it again, right? Growth on YouTube. It's usually slow. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes effort, trying things out, and just sticking with putting out quality stuff regularly. Don't expect overnight success.
Exactly. It's about the long game.
Right. And knowing it's a long game helps when you hit the inevitable bumps in the road. The guide actually anticipates common challenges, which is helpful. Like, okay, lack of fancy equipment. We covered this, but it bears repeating. Start with your phone. Good content, good audio that matters way more early on than a 4K camera. What about being scared of the camera? Totally normal. The advice, practice, be authentic, don't aim for perfection. You'll get more comfortable over time. Just got to do it.
Everyone feels awkward at first.
Yeah. And low views or subs initially, again, think marathon. Keep learning, keep improving, keep posting consistently. Don't get discouraged by small numbers early on. Every big channel started at 0. Running out of ideas happens to everyone. The guide suggests keeping an eye on trends in your niche, asking your audience what they want, looking at what others are doing, but always add your own unique spin. Don't just copy.
Find inspiration, but make it your own.
Exactly. Time management, that's a big one. Burnout is real. So plan your workflow, recording, editing, publishing. Maybe use a content calendar. Stay organized. And finally, dealing with negative comments. The key is to learn the difference between actual constructive feedback, which you can learn from, and just, mean trolls. Ignore the trolls. Use the constructive stuff.
And really tackling these challenges, it's just part of becoming a creator. It's how you learn, how you adapt. Overcoming them builds resilience, which you definitely need.
Yeah.
It all feeds back into getting better.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay, so that was a pretty comprehensive look Creating a YouTube channel, it really is this mix of technical steps, creative planning, and just plain perseverance. We've gone from the nuts and bolts of accounts and settings through content strategy, making the video, getting it seen, and dealing with those common hurdles. If there's a core message from the guide, it seems to be have passion for what you're doing, be yourself, and be ready to learn and adjust as you go. And remember, every single huge channel out there, it started with one video and someone deciding to just go for it.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with as you're thinking about starting your own channel. Go beyond just what you want to talk about. Really ask yourself, why is your unique perspective, your experience valuable here in this specific space? What makes your voice stand out? How can being authentically you create that connection that makes people want to stick around?